Welcome to, sorry about that. So welcome to my class today. As Nicole mentioned, my name is Claire and I'm a senior educator. And I'm happy to present projects in the hoops, especially those cards, the card holder on the, and I'll be presenting it on the Singer SC9180, which is actually an embroidery machine available at Michael's. And so, as Nicole mentioned, everything's going to be recorded and available tomorrow. So if I am going too fast, you need to mark it down in the notes saying, calm down, we have an hour, we have plenty of time. But if you just want to like see something again, remember that you will have access to this class and recorded on YouTube tomorrow. If you do have questions during the whole class, we have Sonny, Amy, and Monet, which are part of the Singer team, and they will be answering any questions or relaying them back to me as we go through the hour. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be making today and showing you how to make. So this is the card holder, and it's a fun project. I honestly say it's really easy to make. And I'll be showing you throughout the course today on how to make this with the embroidery side of the Singer SC9180. Any skill, everyone can do it, from beginners. And honestly, if you're afraid of embroidery, there's no reason, and you'll see in a couple of minutes why it's so simple. And I'll go there. But first, I want to remind you, you probably have already received this document for the class. So all of the information is in there in detail with pictures, and you also have the video. So, I mean, you'll be definitely able to do this project quickly at home. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the supplies. The first thing is the sewing machine, and why this sewing machine is so important, because it's the embroidery unit. So if I remove this, it's going to be a simple sewing machine like all the very good Singer machines that we all have and love. But this unit, you can remove the regular part and just put this embroidery arm on it, and it becomes an embroidery machine. And it does come with this 5x7, 170 by 100 millimeter hoop. And so you can do a fairly, a nice big embroidery on that machine. It has many embroideries inside the machine already, but with our MySewNet software that you can connect to on your sewing machine, from the sewing machine to your computer, you are going to be able to see many more different designs that are available through a subscription to MySewNet. So we'll go back to that later. So first thing first is that you do need the machine. And then you also do need some felt. So for this project, I have blue felt and I have pink felt. So there are different sizes, and they're all noted in the information in the document that's been provided. The next thing that we need is actually a stabilizer. When we do embroidery with a sewing machine, you always need to use stabilizer. So usually we are going to be using a tear-away stabilizer. Okay, so as the name says, you can tear it away. It's pretty simple. You put it in the hoop. But for this project, I kind of mentioned to use what we call, I call the sticky water-soluble stabilizer. So what that means is that, here, let me put it here. So on this side, you're gonna, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there you go. So you see it's kind of, it's soluble stabilizer, very, very soft, but you can't feel the softness because on the other side, it has a glossy paper. Why? It's because under the glossy paper, on the water-soluble stabilizer, we have an adhesive. So the adhesive will allow you to hold your fabric in place in the hoop. So that's why you have that paper on top, which I'm going to be showing you shortly how to remove it once it's in the hoop. So it's sticky, it holds the felt in place while you're embroidering the project. So I personally love using that stabilizer in the project. It makes it makes it softer afterwards. But if you want to test it, you could try tearaway stabilizer, but your project will remain kind of with that rigidity of the tearaway stabilizer. Some people might even prefer that. So again, it's always, your preference. Play around, look at all the different stabilizers you have and test it out. But for me personally, it's water-soluble stabilizer that I use. And then you're going to need some embroidery needles. Again, let me just find them here. I will show you. So a Singer has embroidery needles. This one comes in a pack with size 80 and 90. Because I've used Rayon 40 weight thread for the project, I use the 90 weight, the size 90 needles. It's not, the needles is not a weight, it's the size, sorry. So that's what I've used for the project, embroidery needles. And so the Rayon thread, 40 weight, I've actually put it up on the machine already. I've used a nice hot pink color. The Rayon thread needs to be in the bobbin thread as well as in the top thread, because you are going to be, you'll be able to see both sides of the embroidery. So something to remember, both need to have the same thread that you want. Of course, you're going to need scissors, a rotary cutter, a mat, a ruler to cut the felt, and also you're going to need masking tape for the specific project. You will see shortly why. So those are the basic things that you need to make the project fairly easy to find at Michael's. And then we're going to get into the project now. So let's see. I'm going to start by showing you on my computer the MySewNet software that allows you to get the projects in the hoop, because it really opens up a world of possibility. So from this machine, the sewing machine, and it's, as I mentioned, it is connected to the MySew. It is sorry. Trying to say too many things at the same time. It is connected to MySewNet thanks to Wi-Fi. And so you can go into MySewNet. And so what is MySewNet? Sorry, I'm going to go back one moment so that you guys can, so on the screen now, you see the MySewNet software that's on my computer. But MySewNet is a cloud-based embroidery software platform that's designed to seamlessly work your transfer embroideries, create embroideries, and transfer them to your machines, your embroidery machine, which includes the Singer SC 9180. I'm hoping that I'm making this clear. So you can actually design something into MySewNet on your computer, and through the platform, through the platform, you can send it by internet to your computer, and you can also use a USB stick to go onto the sewing machine. But when it's connected through Wi-Fi, it's so much easier. So it offers ranges of tools that allow you to create, edit, and customize embroidery design, and directly from your computer onto the sewing machine. And yes, the Singer SC 9180, it already has a lot of embroideries, but imagine just all of the other opportunities that you will have with this platform embroidery software. So as I mentioned, you see here, I hope you guys can see it on my screen. I went too fast, but I'm just going to try to go back. So I'm sorry, guys. So I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to go back to File here on the top left. Will it allow me? Yes. So it offers you a lot, depending on your subscriptions, of course, but it offers you so many things that you can do. And one of them is called Project in a Hoop. So those are actually pre-designed projects that can be completed entirely within your embroidery hoop, like the card holder. And so it's really makes it easier. So if you're a beginner, you've never used embroidery and you're kind of wondering, oh, I wouldn't even know what to do with an embroidery machine. You can start with the projects and the hoop because it will kind of introduce you to embroidery and it'll be easier for you to get accustomed to making embroideries. So by clicking on that link, you see you have a window now that's open with several different projects that you can do. You have to make sure that they fit into your hoop. So the card holder, which is right here, I know it works. I've done so many as presents for friends. So it works on the SC9180. And so I'm going to click next now that I've highlighted that project. And it's going to offer me a wide variety of designs. So it's not only just one card holder, it's many different choices of card holders. So for this project, for this class, I selected the heart shape project. The card holder. So that's the design. That's what it looks like. And you see here, you can view, you have not only the document I gave you during the class, but in my Sonnet, you also have access to instructions. So if ever you see another project in your hoop that you want, you can feel, confident that you'll be able to make it because each project comes with a PDF instruction to help you through the whole process. So once you've decided on the design, and you can download the PDF and print it. You can click finish, and then it's going to appear into the software on your computer. And so right now it is already set up for the hoop of the SC9180 because I had pre-programmed it. If you can see on the top left toolbar, you can have there's an icon that shows a hoop. So by selecting that hoop, this is where you get to choose the machine that you're using. And it gives you, and then you can choose. So you see there's 3 different hoops that are available with the Singer 9180. And so we're using the 170 by 100. And, it might come up on a vertical side, the orientation of the hoop. You'll need to make sure that it's rotated to this side so that the design fits in. And then you press OK. I know I tend to talk really, really quickly. I just want to make sure and ask Sani or Monet, Nicole, or Amy, are there any questions with regards to this aspect of the design of the project so far?
Nope, I think we're right with you there.
Okay, perfect. So we are going, so the last thing I want to show you on the software, and that's what I love about it with the sewing. So my sewing machine is already turned on. It's already in embroidery design, so it's ready to go. So what I'm going to do on the top right, you can see that there's a little cloud. If I click on it, it actually, I went too fast. I'm sorry. So it gives you options of connecting. So I want to send the design to my Singer embroidery machine, which is right there. So I simply need to click on that. And I don't know if you've heard that beep. It's actually the machine telling me I've received a design, and so I'm ready to go. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So hopefully you can see the sewing machine here, and you see it says it has received the design. Sometimes it's going to, you can also have a window popping up saying we've received a design. Do you allow us to download it onto the machine? So I'm just going to press close, and then you can see that the design is now onto the on the machine. So the machine. Yes.
Claire, I just want to let you know we saw that. That's so cool. And don't worry, you're not going too fast. So you're doing great. So just know that we're all hanging with you. Everyone, if you have questions, certainly put them in the chat. But Claire, it looks fabulous.
Okay, thank you. So that's the fun part. This is really, it's the fun part that begins because you're getting to really be able to see the magic happen onto your sewing machine. So the next step, now what I'm going to show you is how to prepare the hoop to put the prepare the hoop with that stabilizer that I was talking to you about. So again, you have the glossy paper on top, and so we're going to remove. So we have the top part, and that tends to be confusing when you start in the world of embroidery. So you just have to remember when you see that the screw there to tighten the hoop, that needs to be on the bottom part when you're hooping your project, and this is on the top. And so you'll see here, you have the name Singer, the size of your hoop. Just make sure that, remember that when you're setting it up, this needs to be you need to be able to read it. So it's on the bottom. And so that's how you're going to be clipping it in. All right, so I'm going to take my stabilizer. I'm going to put it into the hoop here, and I'm going to position the stabilizer underneath, and I might have to open the screw a little bit more. So you always need to add your stabilizer on a surface. You can't do it on your lap. You really have to do it on a table. So let me just get it in. All right, so I think it's nicely in. You'll hear it. It really needs to be, you don't want it to be wobbly. It has to be straight in. And then you are going to screw as much as possible to tighten it up so that it doesn't move anymore. So the stabilizer is now nicely seated into the hoop. And then we need to remove the little paper. So I have this tweezer from Singer, and I kind of use it to scratch off the surface. And there we go. I got it. So you basically scratch it off and you can feel it open. So that's what I meant by only removing it once it's in the hoop. And I'm going to continue. There. So the hoop is ready to go onto the machine. And so here I go. The hoop, to install the hoop, we have a connection. Let me try this camera here. We're going to connect the hoop to the machine here. So you'll need to go underneath your embroidery foot and just slide it through, and you'll hear a click. Once you hear that, you know it's set up, it's secure, and you'll be fine to continue. And so this is how it's set up. And then I'm just going to go quickly. There we go. Now, if you look onto the side of the machine, so that area, it's going to show you the design that you're going to be sewing onto the machine. So right now, you know that you're in embroidery because you have that little flower that popped up. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to press edit. So that little pen there means edit. So if you press on the edit, you have a whole window that opened up, and we won't need to do it right now because that's the beauty of this so far, is that you could, look at the different threads that you have, or you can resize it, but we're not going to do all that. We're just going to press in. I think I need to zoom out just a little bit. Sorry, guys. So you're going to press that little check mark here to say that it's all good and we are ready to go. So the machine is now ready. It's telling you it has like all the different sequences of sewing. It has several sections of sewing to do, and that's normal. What I want to show you here is that little green triangle, which is actually, to press start. So by pressing start, it's going to start embroidering the project. So that's where you're gonna be pressing it. You could also use this button right here to start the embroidery. So that's how it works on the machine. Now I hope you don't mind, guys. I am not going to start sewing because I want to be able for you guys to hear me talking. And so what I've done is I've already prepared all of the different steps of the project already so that you can see what it does without necessarily having to see the whole embroidery process. So I hope that's all right with you. So again, when you're on the machine, you would press start, so either here or here, and it would actually sew what I want to show you here. This is, so the blue line here is actually the embroidery, the hoop. So inside the hoop, you would have all of this that is the first embroidery stitch up. Okay, so the machine would stitch that out and it would stop. So at that point, you can take your first piece of felt, okay, and you can position it on top. Now, because it's a sticky stabilizer, you just need to press it, and then let's start the machine again, press play, or I say play, but start, and then it would do the next embroidery. And the next embroidery is actually this right here. So that's where the heart shape is being embroidered onto your project. Okay, so if we look in the back, it's what an embroidery project would look like in the back. And so you have this, it's ready, it's gonna embroider, it's going to stop. So you can, again, remove the hoop, not removing the project from the hoop. Everything stays in the hoop. You're just gonna need to take the hoop out, turn the hoop underneath, because you are going to be putting that pink felt underneath. And, oops, sorry, let me do this here. The masking tape becomes useful at this point because, the sticky is on the other side and not on the bottom side. So you're gonna wanna secure the felt underneath. So I would put a piece of masking tape on both ends here, and then bring this back onto the machine and hoop it back in and press start again for the next section to embroider. When that stops, I'm going to pull the hoop off of the machine again, go back to my.
So Claire,
Yes.
before you go any further on this, I'm sorry. I just want to, do you have your original piece? Because like the finished piece, because right now I think it might be helpful, at least for me, to be able to kind of see where you're going. You got the top, you now have like a lining. Is that what that pink is? And then, so yeah, so if you could maybe show that a little bit, that might help us out.
So this is the finished project. So basically, the first part was the heart that you see here, but when you flip it around, you see it's that lining, the pink that you've just installed underneath. So this is actually setting up that portion of the lining of the key, the card holder.
Very
All right.
cool. Yeah, now that makes perfect sense. I just wanted to kind of like,
Oh,
oh, okay, where are these pieces going?
thank you. No, that's great. Yeah. So the next, once that third embroidery stitch out is going to happen, you can see it here. It's stitched up right here and here. That's all that stitch. You can't really see it on this side. So let me flip it over, and you can see that you have an embroidery that's been done here and here. So the next step, what you're going to do is that you're going to take these, you're going to remove your tape, and you're going to take the last two pieces that we asked you to pre-cut in advance, and you're going to position them on each edge, on each end. And you're going to be making those flaps where to hold your card. So that's why they're there. Okay, now if you're wondering where am I going to position them, that's the beauty. It's like that embroidery stitch out starts here, ends here. So just make sure that you align it here and here. And then where to tape. That's the whole thing. People is like, okay, I need to tape it, but where? So odds are it's going to be taping all this around. So you don't want to put tape here because you don't want to have tape stuck onto your project. So you simply put that masking tape here and, whoops, sorry, and here. All right. And then you put it back onto the machine and press start again so that it can continue to embroider. And so you're going to come back once it's done. This is what you're going to see. So you'll see here it has embroidered all around. So it's really giving that finished look on top, which is what you see here. And then when you flip under, it actually embroidered those two pieces. So you can remove the masking tape at this point. It's not happening. Sorry. All right, so I've removed the tape, and then all that's left to do is to cut out all around. So you trim off all of the excess to have your finished piece here. Now, that's always the question. I've done several when I was testing it out, and I tend to really try to cut close to the embroidery, and I figured out that it doesn't really give you a nice look. It's actually looks nicer if you leave like 1 or 2 millimeter all around the finished embroidery line. So don't try to cut too close to the embroidery because you could damage your embroidery and it could start unraveling all your sewing. And aesthetically, it is nicer when you leave a 2 to 3 millimeters all around. So that's how the project is made. So it's really as simple as that. And that's what I love about projects in the hoops is that it's really simple. You look at the instruction, the machine does everything for you, and you have these lovely gifts for your, or they could be for you as well, but you can make really quickly all of these gifts to hand out to friends and family for special occasions. So that's what I wanted to show you. I want to show you another thing though, because I mentioned so
And
this, yes, sorry.
Claire, while you're getting that, Kathy actually has a great question about, can you use leather or vinyl instead of felt?
Absolutely, yes. I was gonna get there, but definitely, yeah, I've used felt. I've done projects with faux leather, faux and all of that, but I would just, so definitely you can do it with all of those, but the needle will change because depending on the fabric that you use, you might, like I've mentioned, embroidery thread for embroidery needle for felt. But you know, if you're using vinyl or leather or faux leather, then go with the needles for that type of fabric. But definitely, even quilt cotton, you could do it with quilt cotton, but then your edges add more than 3 millimeters because you know they might fray. So I'm going to say yes for all of those harder fabrics, but maybe you know, test it a little bit before going with regular cotton fabrics. Yes. Okay. I'm going to go back to this and show you. So the finished product. So when you look at this one, you can see that it doesn't close nicely, but remember that this is like what it looks like when you pull it out of the hoop. So I still have my water-soluble stabilizer that is still inside, and it gives us kind of a softness that you know I like. So you could leave it as is. If you would have used a tearaway stabilizer, then it would be harder and it would stay more in place. Okay. But I want to show you this one, which is the star design in the projects in the hoop. So this one was also made with wash away stabilizer, and I soaked it for 15 minutes so that the stabilizer could dissolve inside and then let it dry. So it has become stiffer, and which is for me kind of like the look that I want. But again, if you are using leather or vinyl, you probably don't want to, and it's going to be a harder, the fabric itself will make it have this finish, this look. So you don't need to put it in water, definitely not. But felt, if you're wondering, yeah, but I don't like this softness, it's not rigid enough. While soaking it in water for 15 minutes, it does become just a little bit stiffer, so you do get the look that you want. So having showed you the card holder, I just want to go back a little bit to talk about the other different projects that you can do. And one of them is this. So I did actually a keychain. Still, it's part of the projects in the hoop. And I was able to customize it, and I put in my initial in the middle. So it's really simple to use. And you can also, like I've done this heart, but you could also write your own text into the project in the MySonnet software before sending it out to the machine to be embroidered. So those are what I wanted to show. Now, let me see. I'm just wanting to make sure that I've got everything covered so far. So I'm going to open it up and see if you have any questions. I can answer the questions.
I don't see any questions, Claire. I think you have been very thorough, so I think that's great. Do you have any other like tips? I know you talked about when using leather or vinyl, use the proper needle, that sort of thing. Do you need to change up your stabilizers with leather or vinyl? What are your tips on that?
That's a good question. So I've done a few projects with vinyl. I still use the sticky water soluble because again, it's going to if you're using tearaway, it's going to stay in the project. And I like vinyl, and I like it, when you move it. It's very soft, but at the same time, it's rigid. But if you put a tearaway stabilizer, you'll hear it on inside. So that's why I tend to stay with water soluble. The sticky is kind of very useful in this project because you're sure that your fabric will not move before being embroidered. So I wouldn't really necessarily change the stabilizer that I use either. But again, this is I found when I'm talking to other people, we all have our favorites. For me, the sticky water soluble is definitely one of my go-to stabilizers. So other people might have their own preferences, but for me, it is that preference that I have. And yeah.
And another question Kathy has is if you do use like a fabric that's going to fray like denim, have you ever used like the fray check or the stuff around the edge? Is that something that you would it ruin? She's asking, would it ruin the feel of the card, the holder?
It will give it a stiffer feel. So that will definitely happen. So that's why it's kind of a tough, what I would tend to do, again, my the hamster is like working overtime right now in my head. If I would do it with fabric, I would tend to use fusible web and take that fabric and make it put fusible web in underneath, because it kind of reduces the fraying, having that fusible web, what we use to make appliques. So that underneath, you could use like 2 layers together to make it just a little bit more sturdy also, and use that on both sides. So it would reduce the frayness. A pair of jeans won't fray as much too, but still, there's still that choice. But you know what? Okay, the hamster is really working overtime. Once that, let's say you would do it with fabric or even jeans, and you've done the embroidery, that project is finished. You could cut out at 3 millimeter all around and then go finish off with a satin stitch all around. So it would just add just a nice finish to the project, and you will have personalized it or customized it just a little bit more because you can use a variegated thread, you can use whatever, but I would add really to make sure that it lasts longer, I would go and do a satin edge all around. Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, Claire. Kathy, I agree. That's a great idea. So wonderful.
Yeah.
Any other questions, anybody out there? As we were going along, this is such a fun project, Claire. I think it is just a great way to start working, you know, if you're new to embroidery. So those of you out there, you know, do you already have embroidery machines, and do you have any like quick questions about embroidery? We have a little time, Claire, so I'm gonna open you up to any embroidery questions.
I mean, if there are no questions, I had like left a 15-minute surprise, you know, because to customize and put your initials onto the project, I was going to go and try to show them onto my Sonnet. But if anybody has questions, I will answer those before.
I'm not seeing any questions yet, Claire, so I think you can go ahead and do your quick little fun little customization. Patty just asked, is there a fee for the app? This is actually there are subscriptions, Patty, for the My Sonnet, and there is some parts that are free. I will say that the Project in the Hoop, that is part of a subscription. So I guess go to, maybe we can put this in, I'll put this in the chat where you can go to, yeah, I will send a link to everyone.
Okay, all right. So let me share my screen now. And I believe it's in the letters. You can go, again, it depends on your subscription. You have a lot of choices in terms of lettering to embroider. So I'm not going to spend too much time, whoops, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So I'm just going to grab one, hoping that it's going to work. So if I just want to put in, let's say, an initial, because you know, I'm just going to put CH, and I'm going to click apply. So I hope you guys saw that. So on the top here, you choose your the type of lettering that you want. In this section here, you write what needs to be, what you want to have embroidered. If I wanted to have a space in between, this is all where the magic happens. You can choose the size, and there's more stuff here, but I'm keeping it simple because in my head you're a beginner, and then you, by clicking apply, it will position it onto the embroidery. So right now, this is where I say that the fun part that starts, and you can actually rotate it. I'm having problems because my screen is not that all, I can't see it all because I have the top part of the Zoom. So I know that I can rotate it, and see, I haven't prepared that part. It was a surprise. So this is where you get to, you can rotate it and make it fit into the heart. And you can also play with, like, let's say I would, you can write something smaller inside here and then have it follow the shape of the heart. And you can do that in that section here. And to change the color of the, you can also, again, on the software, you can say, okay, I want that thread to be of a different color. So you can change, personalize the color of the thread. Again, so sometimes we tend to overthink it. It's a small project. I'm using already one type of thread color here. So if I know I want it to be the same color thread as in the heart, I can also say when the machine says change it to teal, I can just keep the color that I have already, because you don't have to, if you're not that comfortable with the software yet, you don't need to do it in the software to still be able to work onto the machine. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Now, I would like to be able to show you how to move it around and rotate it. So let me just try to make it so that I can see it myself. I'm having this is like me, I'm sorry, guys. So here, now I have it. I think I can see it better. I can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna highlight, because you see, it's like kind of a two-tier. So this is the first layer, which is the project and the hoop. And this is the second layer, which is the text that you just started working on it. And if I go here, I'm going through technical difficult. Oh, there it is. That circle right there. You just turn it here. And so you are able to maneuver it. And now resizing, you have to be careful with resizing. Again, I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible, because you can't necessarily just go here and start scrolling it to make it bigger or smaller, because when you're in embroidery, it is calculating the number of stitches to have that thickness that you want. So if you wanted to have it just a little bit smaller, then I recommend that you simply delete it. You go back in here and you say that you want to reduce it, and you click apply again. And then with that little circle, you rotate it and you can put it where you want it in the project. And this is looking so much better. So I might rotate it just a few degrees more again. So I'm really trying to make this simple for beginners. So just remember, like if you're here, of course, you won't be able to touch you'll be touching the wrong one. So you don't want to touch the project itself. You just got to make sure that you're in the right layer. You would probably be in the home section. So then you want to go into letters, choose your letters, choose what you want to write, choose the dimension, and click apply. And when you're going back here, this is where you can also rotate as much as you want your embroidery here. So I don't want to go into too much details, because it's probably the first project you're going to be doing in embroidery. So I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. So, but if you do have questions, please do write them, and Sonny can give them to me, and I can try to answer them. Sonny?
I don't see any new questions, Claire. I think you've been answering as we've been going along. Does anyone have any other questions? Again, it could be embroidery, it could be about the project. Any ideas or any thoughts on this? I love the project. I just wrote that. I think it's really fun, Claire, to do these. And Amy had said something about basically what a great time to get started on your holiday gift giving, right? For cards and things like that. So what a great time.
Or even if you have like a kids party and you want to do something personalized for every person that comes to the party, like a thank you to take home. I think this is very original. Even the keychain, like right, and they can put the keychain on their backpacks to go to school. So it's even more. Sometimes when you go into a classroom, you have 5 kids with the same backpack, but you have this one on, so it's your kids. So it's easy to go and grab it. You don't have to start wondering which one is yours. So those are little things that are fun to have to make. Yeah.
So Jackie had a question about embroidering on like fur or lofty fabrics, but especially fur.
Especially fur. So if you're going to be embroidering on fur, and it's the same thing like for towels. I remember when you get all these fluffy towels and you're embroidering and you're like, oh, funny, I can see the embroidery very well on regular cotton fabric, but then it's kind of like you have these things popping out. So that's where you need to be, you have to be careful. So before embroidering on fur or all of these things that kind of like have things popping up, I would say to use wash away. So it's kind of like a water soluble. I could pull it out. It's a water soluble stabilizer, not the sticky, just a water soluble. So you put your regular stabilizer underneath, you put the fur or the towel, whatever's fluffy, you put it on top, you get it ready to embroider. But before embroidering your project, you're going to add a layer of that wash away stabilizer so that when you are embroidering, the fur and all that excess won't go up, so you can clearly see the embroidery on your project. Another thing, if you can find, there is what we call a heat oh, how do you call it? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, but it's stabilizer that dissolves with heat. Okay, so that's the beauty of it, because if you put that on top of fur, especially fur, you put that on top of fur and you embroider, then even if you wash or like towels and things like that, if you wash it, it won't dissolve. So you still won't have anything popping out of your embroidery stitches. So you have a nice smooth embroidery. Hope that answers the question. So is there?
Sorry, Claire, I was muted there for a moment. There is another question. Jackie says, thank you for your explanation about the fur. What Kathy's asking is about resizing for other items, like a checkbook cover or something like that. I think that you would have to actually do that in the software, and the limitation would end up being on the hoop size, if I am correct about that. Is that right?
Exactly, yes. Resizing, it's always dangerous to resize. Well, I have to further investigate the sewing machine because the person that has designed the embroidery has really given a lot of thought into, first of all, adding a layer underneath to be able to then, once you start embroidering the design, that it looks full and nice and dense. Okay, so usually the size of the embroidery is not just an accident. It's like everything, all the calculations underneath to get that perfect embroidery is based on that size. I guess you could maybe have a small, very small increase and it would still look nice. But if you want to increase it a lot, then you're going to lose that fullness of your embroidery. So it's better not to do it on the machine and to go back into the software. And that's the fun part of my Sonnet. You have super designs. If you look and it depends on the subscription base that you have, but you can go inside the super designs, you'll see the designs, and those can be increased as much as you like. It will automatically recalculate the density, how many embroidery stitches that needs to come in. If you start taking an original design and increasing it, there comes a certain point where your embroidery will just not look nice because it was not designed for the right amount of stitches to fill it up and look nice. I hope that answers the question. That's fine. That's Kathy was asking.
Yep, I think that are the questions you've had. I don't know if there's anything else, but Claire, I don't know if you have anything else you want to say before we finish for the day.
I believe that takes that I've gone through everything I wanted to say. I'm so happy, and I didn't I slowed down, so I'm happy about that too. So I really invite everyone to start, to look into my Sonnet and look at all of the different designs that are available, even for that size of a hoop. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Sonny, but there is also a smaller hoop for the SC 9180. There are two different sizes that are available. And I might want to take that moment because we never really explain why. So someone says, I've heard someone say before, well, I just need to get the biggest size hoop and I will do all of the embroideries I want into that hoop. Nobody asks it because nobody ever thinks about it, but I have to say it now. If you, depending on the size of your embroidery, do get don't go for an oversized hoop because you still want the fabric to be held firmly around it. So a small design will look better in a smaller hoop so that it really does hold the fabric correctly all around that design. So there are three. We spoke about the 170 by 100 millimeter hoop for this project, but there is, I believe it's the 40 by 40, Sani, am I?
Yes,
Yes, thank you.
yeah.
The 40 by 40 is also included. Don't disregard that size.
It's not included. It's not included, I'm sorry.
But there are two other sizes because depending on the embroideries that you want to do, you might want to consider having that hoop to make sure that your fabric is firmly in place and it will look, it won't move when the embroidery is being done. So I just wanted to add that. And so if there's no other questions, then I just want to say thank you for everyone for being here today. And we will see you again and just like in a week from now, we're going to be in September already. I can't believe it, but September is a great month because it's National Sewing Month, and the whole team is going to be back. I believe there's a link below to all the different classes that we're going to be having to give some insights on sewing for National Sewing Month.
And Amy already put that up and people are like enjoying your class, Claire. Thank you. Great information. So thank you, Claire.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day, end of day.